let us start. Next point, conductivity. Okay, and conductivity is denoted by symbol small k. Okay, in last video we have seen electrical conductance, right? And electrical conductance is denoted by capital G. Okay, and we have studied that electrical conductance is inversely proportional to R, right? R is resistance. Okay, electrical conductance is inversely proportional to R, so it is written G is equal to 1 upon R. Okay, suppose this is equation number 1. We also have studied that resistance is directly proportional to L. L means what? Length of conductor, and it is inversely proportional to the cross sectional area. Understand? So R is proportional to L upon A. Understand? And this is our equation number 2. Okay. So from equation number 1 and 2, what we can write? See, G is directly proportional to A upon L. Okay. See, G is inversely proportional to R and R is proportional to L upon A. Understand? As R is in denominator and R is proportional to L upon A. Okay. So this term will become reverse, means G, electrical conductivity, is proportional to cross sectional area upon length of the conductor. Understand? And therefore G is equal to K multiplied by A upon L, where K is constant. Okay, K is called as proportionality constant. Now suppose cross sectional area of the conductor is equal to 1, means it is unity. Okay, and length of the conductor is also equal to 1, so this whole term will become 1 in that case. Understood? So in that case G is equal to K. Understand? When cross sectional area and length of the conductor are unity, they are equal to 1, in that case G is equal to K. Okay, so in that case proportionality constant K is called as conductivity. Okay, so here we have studied conductivity. So how will you define conductivity from this formula? See, the conductivity is electrical conductance of a conductor of unit length and unit area of cross section. That is called as conductivity. Okay, so now conductivity of electrolyte is called as electrolytic conductivity. Understand? Electrolytic conductivity means what? Conductivity of solution of an electrolyte is called as electrolytic conductivity. Now let us see. We know G is equal to 1 upon R. Okay. What does it mean? Conductivity electrical conductance is inversely proportional to R. We have studied this. Okay. Then just now we have derived this conductivity. Okay. G is equal to K A upon L. Okay. This formula. Okay. Now see, if I send this term on that side, okay, we will take reciprocal of that. So G, L will go in numerator and A will come in denominator, is equal to K. Okay. Now G multiplied by L upon A is equal to K. Okay. But as we know, G is equal to 1 upon R, right? So in place of G, if we will write 1 upon R multiplied by L upon A is equal to K. Okay. So what we can say, 1 upon R multiplied by L upon A is equal to K. It's conductivity. Okay. Now let us see what is mean by molar conductivity. Let us see what is mean by molar conductivity. See, in 1880, the German physicist F.W.G. Kohlrausch introduced the term molar conductivity. Okay, who introduced the term molar conductivity? Kohlrausch. Okay, and he was German physicist. And this molar conductivity is denoted by this symbol, reverse V. It is called as lambda. Okay. So see, molar conductivity of electrolytic solution is electrolytic conductivity K divided by its molar concentration. Okay. So how to get the molar conductivity? K divided by C. What is K? We have studied K is electrolytic conductivity. And what is C? It is molar concentration of that electrolytic solution. Okay. So molar conductivity is equal to K upon C. And in last video we have studied that SI unit of K. Okay. SI unit of conductivity is Siemens per meter. S is for Siemens, right? And that of concentration means unit of concentration is mole per meter cube. Understand? Okay. So see here, SI unit of K means conductivity is Siemens per meter. Okay. And that of concentration is, unit of concentration is mole per meter cube. Okay. So what will be the unit of molar conductivity? So SI unit of molar conductivity are Siemens meter square mole, per mole or mole inverse. Understand? See this, meter raised to power -1 and here it is meter raised to power -2. When we will solve this, we will get meter square. Okay. And this mole, if it will go in numerator, it will become mole inverse. Understood? And that's why the unit of molar conductivity is Siemens meter square per mole. Understand? Common units employed for molar conductivity is per ohm centimeter square per mole. So this is the common unit. Okay. So here we have studied what is mean by molar conductivity. Okay. Let us see next point. This is very important. Coleridge law of independent migration of ions. Understand? They ask in exam. What is Coleridge law of independent migration of ions and give its application. Okay. So let us see the statement of Coleridge law first. The law states that at infinite dilution means what? Zero concentration. Okay. Further dilution is not possible at this state. That is called as infinite dilution or zero concentration. Okay. So the law states that at infinite dilution, each ion migrates independent of its co-ion, okay, and contributes to total molar conductivity of an electrolyte, irrespective of the nature of other ion to which it is associated. Okay. Now we know in electrolytic solution ions are present. Positively charged ions are cations and negatively charged ions are anions. Okay. So according to this law, at infinite dilution, cations and anions, they migrate independently. Okay. Their migration is not depend upon its co-ion. Okay. Cation and anion migrate independently and both of them contribute to total molar conductivity. Understand? So total molar conductivity is depend upon the conductivity of cations also and anions also. Understand? Now, so it is said that both the cations and anions contribute to molar conductivity of the electrolyte at zero concentration. Zero concentration means infinite dilution. Thus, see this molar conductivity, and here 0 is written. That means it is molar conductivity at infinite dilution or zero concentration. You know this symbol is of conductivity, right? Molar conductivity. And when molar conductivity and 0 is written, that means molar conductivity at zero concentration. It is the sum of molar conductivity of cation and molar conductivity of anion. Okay. And see the formula, molar conductivity at zero concentration is equal to n plus lambda 0 plus n minus lambda 0 minus. Okay. What does it mean? See, n plus means what? Number of cations, number of moles of cations, and this is molar conductivity of cation at zero concentration. This is n minus means what? Number of moles of anions, and this is molar conductivity of anion at zero concentration. Okay. So molar conductivity at zero concentration is the sum of molar conductivity of cation plus molar conductivity of anion. Understood? And this is the Coleridge law. When they ask to state and explain the Coleridge law, you have to write the statement from here to here. Okay. And then you have to explain these things also. At least this formula you have to write, and you have to write the meaning of the terms which are involved in this formula. Okay. So this was Coleridge law of independent migration of ions. Now let us see what are the applications of Coleridge theory. So here you can see application of Coleridge theory. See the first application, it can be used, means Coleridge theory can be used to calculate the molar conductivity of electrolyte at zero concentration. Okay, that means if you know the molar conductivity of cation and anion, you can find out the molar conductivity of that electrolyte. For example, see molar conductivity at zero concentration of KCl, molar conductivity of KCl at zero concentration or infinite dilution is equal to molar conductivity of K plus ion, means cations, plus molar conductivity of Cl minus anions at zero concentration. Okay, so if you know the conductivity or molar conductivity of K plus and molar conductivity of Cl minus, by using this formula you can find out the molar conductivity of KCl at zero concentration. Understand? Similarly, one more example, molar conductivity of BaOH twice. Okay, so if you know the molar conductivity of cation and anion, you will be able to find out the molar conductivity of BaOH twice at zero concentration. It can be written as molar conductivity of Ba2 plus cation, okay, plus molar conductivity of OH minus ions. Okay, if you know the conductivity of these two cations and anions, you can easily find out the molar conductivity of BaOH twice at infinite dilution. So this is the first application. Let us see next application. See the second application. It is useful in calculating molar conductivity at infinite dilution values of weak electrolyte from those of strong electrolyte. Okay, that means if you know the molar conductivity values of strong electrolyte, by using those values you can find out the molar conductivities of weak electrolyte. Let us see example, molar conductivity at infinite dilution of acetic acid. We have to find out. Okay, now this is weak electrolyte. Now if you know the molar conductivity of HCl, which is strong electrolyte, plus if you know the molar conductivity of CH3COONA, sodium salt of acetic acid. Okay, then if you know the molar conductivity of NaCl, okay, if you know the molar conductivity of HCl, which is strong electrolyte, molar conductivity of CH3COONA, strong electrolyte, molar conductivity of NaCl, strong electrolyte, by using these molar conductivities of this strong electrolyte, you can find out the molar conductivity of CH3COOH. How to find that? Let us see. Now see, HCl, molar conductivity of HCl plus molar conductivity of CH3COONA. Okay, now if we will subtract the molar conductivity of sodium and chlorine togetherly they will form NaCl, right? So if we subtract the molar conductivity of sodium chloride from the sum of molar conductivity of HCl and CH3COONA, what we will get? See, NaCl is subtracted. What is remaining now? CH3COO and this hydrogen. Okay, so this is equal to the molar conductivity of CH3COOH. Okay, इसमें से means from the sum of molar conductivity of HCl and CH3CONA, if we will subtract the molar conductivity of sodium chloride, Na plus and Cl minus, if we will subtract, what is remaining? CH3COO and here H. That means CH3COOH. Okay, so by using the molar conductivities of these strong electrolyte, we can find out the molar conductivity of this weak electrolyte. Understood? So molar conductivity of CH3COOH is equal to molar conductivity of HCl plus molar conductivity of CH3COONA minus molar conductivity of NaCl, everything at zero concentration or infinite dilution. Understand? So by using this Coleridge law, we can find out the molar conductivity values of weak electrolyte by using the molar conductivity values of strong electrolyte. Okay, so this was everything about Coleridge law. Next point is molar conductivity and degree of dissociation of weak electrolytes. Okay, how they are related, molar conductivity and degree of dissociation. So see, the degree of dissociation is denoted by this symbol. Okay, so degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte is related to its molar conductivity at given concentration C by this equation. So degree of dissociation is equal to molar concentration at concentration C molar conductivity at concentration C divided by molar conductivity at zero concentration. Okay, so this is lambda C means what? Molar conductivity of weak electrolyte at concentration C. Okay, and lambda 0 means what? Molar conductivity at zero concentration. So this is the formula to find out degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte. Understand? Let us see next point.